Rusangwa.
On a street corner, an animal vendor waits to sell these animals. The neighborhood grocery stalls look just like this one. A few varieties of vegetables are placed on the small stall, and the vendors are trying to make money by selling them. As we continued walking along the muddy roads with puddles, we saw a woman bending over. She was scooping dirty water from a puddle and filling a plastic container with it. We learned that people who can't afford to buy water from clean water stations fill their containers with water from puddles and use it for drinking and cooking. This woman was a living example of that, and watching her really brought us down. There's absolutely no chance that this water is safe. People are stepping right through it. It could even be sewage water. Moreover, a strong odor pervades the neighborhood. The smell comes from the stream that runs through various parts of the neighborhood. People dump their toilet waste into the stream, spreading both the odor and disease. The living space for people of all ages is right in the midst of this waste. Poultry roam among this waste, using it as a food source. People in turn eat this poultry for meat. As we continued down the side streets, we saw a corner with an Ugandan flag. The street was a long corridor, and the neighborhood residents seemed friendly. In one corner, an adult woman was washing clothes by hand. Her children were among the lucky ones who could attend school. On their way to school, she showed us her house and told us what she did for a living.
I've been living in this neighborhood for 20 years and I do laundry. My husband made big mistakes. He often left us and spent our money on gambling, so we were forced to live in this neighborhood. He went to the market to sell vegetables, but I never trust him because he's a gambling addict, and I'm trying to cope with 3 children. I wash the neighbor's laundry and I spend the money on my children's food. I don't buy anything for myself. My husband can only pay the rent for the house. Actually, we pay 75,000 Ugandan shillings a month for this place. He doesn't even deserve that, but we have no other choice. We can't live on the street. Actually, I would have liked to get a proper job myself, but it's impossible because of my children. Still, thank God there are people in the neighborhood who are much poorer than us. At least we never go to bed hungry.
What?
As we continued walking through the neighborhood, some young women tried to catch our attention. According to what we were told, the young women are laborers. Our local friend mentioned that approximately 1.5 million people in Uganda carry deadly viruses transmitted through sexual contact. This woman might be one of them. In this neighborhood, young women are forced to take various jobs to improve their living conditions. The exterior walls of the shanties in the neighborhood, on the other hand, are made from a combination of various materials. Metal sheets, planks, wires, and stones were used to build them. Curious about what the inside of these homes looked like, we entered a nearby house to take a look. This is the children's room. It is quite cramped and stuffy. Since the furniture doesn't fit, the room looks cluttered. The children sleep in bunk beds that have been set up in the room. Since there is no closet for their clothes, they are scattered and disorganized. In the middle of this 2-room home is a kitchen. Kitchenware is crammed into a small space due to the lack of room. The mother and father sleep on a bed in this room under dim lighting. The house has no windows, so airflow is provided through holes in the roof. The roof is made of wooden planks and metal sheets. There are cracks in the walls, and it would not be surprising if they were to collapse. While people throughout the neighborhood use the communal restroom, the residents of this house have a private restroom outside. Here you can see the restroom and bathroom facilities in this area. We were curious about the condition of the neighborhood's communal restrooms, which the entire neighborhood uses. They don't pay a fee to use the restroom, but the neighborhood residents are responsible for its maintenance and cleaning. Across from the restroom, we saw a woman who looked different from the others. She didn't look much like other Ugandans. She had set up a stall in the corner where she was selling a certain kind of plant. We went over to her to figure out what the herbs were and how they were used. She was also selling birth control products. Our local friend told us that these herbs boost performance and energy. Apparently, people here take such supplements to relax and feel more energetic.
Died while aiming first? Try exit lag free for 3 days. It's not always you.
Here, I sell medicinal herbs that I brought from Ethiopia. They make people feel good. People in the neighborhood are getting sick from stress. Because men have to earn money, they can't devote time and energy to their wives. So I prepare herbal remedies for men to help them regain their energy. And I sell these kinds of herbs. At the same time, it helps you feel energetic throughout the day. I sell them in bunches. One bunch lasts a week. The price is 3,000. You mix it with hot water and drink it, or you can chew it directly and then swallow. I only sell these herbs to adults. Most of my customers are men over the age of 50. I don't do this business in the city center because officials often walk around there. They inspect the vendors. It's safer for me to sell here out of sight.
Since the start of our trip, we hadn't eaten anything, and we were curious about the kinds of food the locals ate. So we visited a few street vendors. On our way to the street food area, we saw a woman filling plastic bottles with a liquid from a yellow can and selling them. They told us it was motorcycle fuel. People in the neighborhood who urgently need fuel come to her and buy just enough to get by on their motorcycles. She works as a seamstress and buys fuel in cans from gas stations in the city. She adds a markup and sells the fuel to people in the neighborhood as a side job. She lives in a one-room apartment right here. It's almost like a prison cell inside, and the house where the family we saw earlier lives looks like a palace compared to this place. Seeing this was quite interesting. Here is a vendor preparing lunch for neighborhood residents. This is her restaurant. She has made rice pilaf with white rice and is cooking beans in another pot. She serves the rice by placing the beans she scoops from the pot next to it. They cook the rice by boiling it in water without adding oil. The woman works alone and uses this